Hi everyone, thanks for joining today. Thanks everyone joining really promptly as well. We see lots of people have joined at once. I'm Ben Town from ISLE. Pleased to be here to be opening up on this webinar on the Ofwat Innovation Fund and this first round of the Innovation in Water Challenge. I'm firstly going to hand over to our colleague Harry Armstrong at Ofwat just to set the scene.
Thanks, Ben. So yeah, just to reiterate what Ben was saying, welcome. We're really excited to be talking a bit more about what our Innovation Fund is going to be focusing on in January when we launch on the 18th. This webinar is really an opportunity for us to download some more of the information as to what we're looking for in terms of proposals, what you should be doing now, and what opportunities there might be in January and on from January to engage more widely with both the fund and other people in the sector. So I'm not going to speak for too much more. I'm going to hand back over to Ben in a second, who's going to give us a little bit more information about the Innovation Fund and what's going to be happening over the next couple of months. But again, welcome, and I hope this answers all of your questions.
Thanks very much, Harry. It's going to be myself and Carolyn walking through some of the slides just to get ourselves going this afternoon. So I'm Ben Town from ISLE and this is Carolyn from Nesta, and we're working together to help deliver the Innovation in Water Challenge. And today we're going to cover hopefully what is some of the information which has been published through the website and is up there currently. So we're looking really just to add more colour to the information there and be available at the end of this and have as much time as possible for questions. The session is being recorded and will be up online at the end of this session today. Before I even go into the agenda, I just want to flag up that we're going to be using Slido for questions as an easy way for everyone to see and facilitate through some of those. For those of you pretty familiar, but if you go to slido.com or type Slido into a search engine, and then when you get asked for an access code, just type IWC. Then you'll be able to submit questions as we go along, and then we're going to have half an hour at the end targeted towards answering as many of those as we can get through. Later on as well, or by tomorrow morning, we'll have an FAQ section added and posted up, which should hopefully then cover everything to do with questions on here, and if not, we'll still be available as in the coming weeks to answer anything else. So today, just going to be running through an overview of the fund, what we posted up so far, and just dig into make sure that everyone understands some of the process that we put up so far. Can I just go on to the next slide? So this fund, as you'll all know and been monitoring, is split into two parts. The first part, the first round being launched, called the Innovation in Water Challenge, going to be launching in January. And alongside that, we're building up towards the main competition. The Innovation in Water Challenge has a total prize fund of about £2 million. And we're going to be opening up on the 18th of January for applications. And we'll give you a bit more detail on that in just a moment. And the main competition running from spring 21, we have for 40 million. And more details can be available very early in the new year. I'll just go to the next slide. We're going to give a bit of an overview of the themes of the fund, but also why and the concept behind it. And on this brick wall in front of us here, these are some of the words which have been used to describe what this fund is enabling and what we're trying to do with the funds that are available. Some key ones on there are around collaboration, really helping to build and strengthen those relationships which are already ongoing within the sector, but also through supply chain, leveraging this fund as much as possible to enable those. And we really want to see the openness, that sharing of data and insights across the sector. This adaptability, which really means that flexibility and openness to explore new ways of working in the sector. This is real element around managing innovation risk and this call to action around helping the sector move forward, manage risk together so that we can take some of these big transformative steps. And this fund is ideally placed to enable that. we're really looking for scalability and deployability, which really means it's improving the ease at which technologies or solutions are scaled up across the sector so that everybody benefits quickly and we can meet some of those really stretching goals that we all have in the industry. And we want to take a longer term view. I think one of the big challenges we've always had is being stuck in looking through the AMP cycle, but what can we help seed now, which is really going to enable us to meet the big challenges that we all have. I'm now on the next slide, just going to quickly pass back to Ofwat to Harry.
Thanks, Ben. So as Ben was saying, there's a lot we want this fund to do, but we're not just interested in innovation for the sake of innovation. We really want to drive some of that transformational change around key areas that the sector is struggling with and is going to be key, not just now, but for the foreseeable future. And so we have a range of key strategic innovation themes that we want proposals being submitted to identify how they're working towards solving or resolving or mitigating some of these key challenges that the sector face. So we've built them partly out of what's already been discussed in the sector over the last few years, some of the work that the sector is doing itself to identify key challenges. And we've built out these 5 key strategic themes. We consulted with the broader sector in May on these. And I'm not going to go through all of them now, but they cover things that you would expect to be in there, from climate change adaptation and net zero emissions, where there are already sector targets, to ecological change, environmental impacts, operational resilience, and what we're calling wider public value, which we're thinking about in quite a wide sense. So how can some of these innovations include benefit beyond specifically what they're targeting to do? And then also this making more of open data and collaboration through data and new digital models. So these are the areas that we want those innovations coming in through the proposals to really focus on and provide that change and adaptation towards.
Thank you. So the Innovator in Water Challenge, the first round will open for entries on the 18th of January 2021. And the window will be open for 6 weeks until noon on the 26th of January 2021. So this first round is really seen as an opportunity for potential entries to win between 50 and 250,000 pounds to support kickstart, grow, or scale your initiative. So the primary objective is really to encourage new ways of working that go beyond business as usual practices within the water sector, but also we would like to see increased and improved collaboration within water companies, but also outside of the sector. So it's really an opportunity to work with innovators from all over the world and from very diverse backgrounds. And of course, the ideas have to be within the 5 strategic innovation themes that we just showed. Next slide, please. So all entries will be assessed based on these 3 criteria. These criteria have been published already on the Ofwat website. So if you want more details, you can go there, and then there will be also available within the FAQs that we're going to publish. But basically, we're going to look at, firstly, how do these ideas have a positive impact for consumers, society, and the environment? Secondly, how are they able to demonstrate that it goes beyond business as usual and seek a diverse approach in both innovation enablers and solutions? And thirdly, we will look at the capacity to deliver, the capacity and capability to deliver. So, is the project sound? Is it robust? Does it make sense? And value for money and potential for impact. Next slide, please. So here's the high-level timeline. So as I said, the entries open on the 18th of January. Are open for 6 weeks until the 26th of February. Then throughout March, it will go through assessment and judging. And there will be a judging panel coming together towards the end of March. And then winners will be informed by April 2021. So I'm handing it back to Ben now.
Thanks, Carolyn. So who can enter? So hopefully it's quite clear by now, and it's up on the website. And the 17 water companies and wastewater companies in the UK and Wales, England and Wales, sorry, and the NAVs, they will be the lead applicants. And so if you are one of those who have dialed in today, now's the opportunity to start putting into action those partnerships, those ideas around projects, and looking for partnerships. Part of the whole reason for this initial round and funding is to try and inspire some of those relationships to start to form. If you're a partner, a potential partner in all of this, so not a water company or a NAV, this is your opportunity to reach out to the water companies, the opportunity to sort of demonstrate how you can meet some of their key challenges, both utilising the themes through this fund, the key strategic themes through Ofwat, which Harry articulated, and also just that understanding of the water sector. To enable some of these relationships to come together, we'll talk a bit in a moment around the potential brokerage sessions. But if you are struggling to get through anywhere, there's on the website there is a central mailbox at the contact@waterinnovation2050.org for the partners. So if you don't have any potential partners out there in the water companies, you can use that mailbox. Equally, we are available to help facilitate this. And something we're all passionate about as partners on the fund delivery side is making sure that we enable these relationships to happen and that we get really strong proposals through. The online application form will be available from the 18th of January, and it will be based upon the criteria that Carolyn went through just before. So any work done prior to this application form being launched is based around that assessment criteria that you will be working within the right bounds. We will be sending out more information as we get up towards that date, and I'll talk a moment about brokerage sessions as well. Go to the next slide. What can you win? So there's 2 million prize funds in this first round. We believe we're going to get down to awarding about 10 to 15 prize awards, depending on what comes through. And that means that we're expecting them to be in the ranges between 50 and 250,000 per entry. But it's worth stating that they don't have to be 50,000 or 250,000. They can be sort of anything split in between and obviously justified by the application. And the projects do have to be match funded, 10%. This is to help enable best value for money for the customers. That 10% is open at how you get that 10% brought forward either through the consortium or directly just through the lead applicant through the water company or the NAV that is open. Click the next slide. You can see here, this is an example of what we think the prize awards might look like. It's purely for demonstration. Those numbers add up to that 2 million. It'd be nice to see a split around this sort of level, but again, we're really open to seeing what comes through first, and they will all go through the assessment process. But as a potential, this is how we can see it could work. And on to the next one. If we just move to the next slide. There we go. So to enable the relationships to form, to enable those partnerships, we'd really like to host some virtual brokerage sessions. And in the next coming days, you will see some information coming out to enable us to gather some of the intent and some of the ideas coming forward. Pencil these dates in. We will be enabling people to log on during those dates. We're just getting through the logistics of how that's exactly going to work, and you'll see a communication coming forward from us. And the reason for hosting these is to give us just the best opportunity, like I said, for these partnerships to form. We know that it can be tricky for new entrants coming into the market on the solution provider side, and we really want to make sure that we're offering the best opportunities for those to come through. It's going to be a very busy round, I'm sure, so we will do our very best to make sure everybody has the best opportunity through that. But do remember that this will be run again into the next round as well. So ideas coming forward now may have a bit longer to come together. So please don't be put off by the short timescales on this. I do believe there's plenty of opportunities for everyone around the table.
No, sorry, thank you. So hopefully you should now have enough information to possibly explore new partnerships or scope potential entries to the Innovation in Water Challenge. I know that there will be question on what more information will be available when. So on the 18th of January, when the challenge open, you will have access to the full application form. Also the detailed assessment criteria, so you will be able to understand exactly how the entries will be assessed and the scoring. The full terms and conditions for participating in the challenge. Hopefully the makeup of the independent judging panel, and some important dates after the entry period, such as the date of the judging panel, the date that we will let you know if you're successful or not, and when you should expect to receive the prize funding. Also, we hope to be able to share the detail of the monitoring if you have a winning entry. So we do expect to see some type of reporting throughout the period of implementation of your project. And also what will be the process and the oversight for the settlements for the winning bids. I would also like to add that, that we're committed to really enabling a diverse range of entrants. So if you feel that there are any reasonable adjustments that would support you to enter and would, where you would need catering for any additional needs, please get in touch with us. We'll try and see what we can do to support you. The only thing that we will be unable to grant is more time for application. Thank you.